everyone, and welcome to the final round of my Best Whiskey Glass of 2022 competition. What started as a random stream one night when I didn't have much of an idea what to do has turned into a 3-part series that we are wrapping up tonight with our final 4 glasses. So this is all made possible thanks to Patreon. I asked you guys what were your favorite whiskey glasses. You guys gave me some amazing suggestions. Some I owned, some I didn't own. But we have come down to the final 4. So I'm so excited to get into these. I will also be doing blind pours tonight because I am competing in the first round of 2022's version of the Matt Madness Whiskey Tasting Invitational. I will be competing against our friend Perry from This Is My Bourbon Podcast and Brian from Abandoned Bourbon. So it should be a ton of fun. I cannot wait to compete. I've been training. I think I'm there. I think I'm good, but we'll find out tomorrow. But in the meantime, I had my husband blind me with 3 different whiskeys. We're going to stick with the same theme as we've done the past 2 rounds of this competition. One will be a low proof bourbon or rye. The second will be a cask strength bourbon or rye. And the third will be a peated Scotch. We are putting these glasses to the absolute test. We'll be trying we will be nosing them. We will be tasting them. And in the end, one of these is going to be the best whiskey glass. So if you're ready to find out who that is, make sure to hit the thumbs up. As Cheech is saying in the chat, I saw y'all were chatting. I was a little bit late at getting started today. I had to make sure everything was in order. But I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to this. Lil's been looking forward to it too. What's up? Lil's in the house. Zover said it's the final countdown. Good to see you, Zover. Deathless Dogs, welcome. Good to see you. Prescription Bourbon in the house. Scott Pigsley. I already said that. Donnie's in the house. Donnie helped out with the spreadsheet to keep track of the point system. So if you missed it, I'm doing this on an 8-point system, 8 being the best on both nose and palate. So we're going to see which one can score the highest. Brandon's in the house. What's up, Brandon? Looking forward to seeing you hopefully in a couple weeks. And Bourbon Noob says party. So, well, in addition to the fact that I'm going to be doing these blind, I'm also going to be giving away a second sample set of the 3 pours I'm having tonight, as well as a bonus winner's pour. So I'm going to celebrate the best whiskey glass of 2022 with the pour of something a little special. So if you want a chance to win all 3 of these whiskeys, the low proof whiskey, the cask strength whiskey, and the peated Scotch, as well as my winning pour, you can send a super chat of $5. Every $5 is an entry, so you can do $10 for 2 entries, so on and so forth. So hopefully you guys are as excited as I am. But let's go ahead and get A poured. So like I said, A is going to be our low proof bourbon or rye. We're going to see how it does in all 4 of these glasses. I guess I should introduce what the competitors are. Let me go ahead and get the glass poured, though. Give it a fair shot to open up a bit. Hopefully y'all are having a great Thursday evening. Always look forward to coming on here and partying with y'all. Now, I did not get a dump glass, so that's a problem. I'll figure it out. You know what? I can find the empty glass really easily. All right. So, as with previous weeks, I will do the blend at the end and drink them all together. But after I have my celebratory winners pour, Independent Joe is in the house. Cheers to you, Joe. Hope you're doing well. I also see Scott Moody. Scott, good to see you. I don't know. I struggled with your name. It's not that hard of a name. But okay, I got a dump glass. So those are all poured. Let's meet our competitors, shall we? So our first glass is the tried and true glass. It looks dirty, but I think it's just I got my fingerprints all over it. Yeah, it's clean. Okay. Is the Repeal Day glass. Sorry, I got distracted because I'm like, what are these marks on it? But yeah, it's definitely clean. It's not the Repeal Day glass. I mean, it is the Repeal Day glass, but that's not what I was trying to say. This is the Glencairn Glass. This is the go-to whiskey glass for a lot of us whiskey drinkers. It did really, really well in the first round of the competition. So I'm so excited to see if this will come out on top as the best whiskey glass of 2022. Next up, we have another popular whiskey glass. This one I did not expect to make it to the final round, but it did. We have the Norlan Glass. So this one is a very fragile glass, very expensive, but it's actually performed very, very well. Next up has been my tried and true go-to whiskey glass when it comes to just casual drinking, but I'm learning more and more that this glass can stand up on its own. That is the Kentucky Bourbon Trail Glass. I think it's actually by another company. If you just Google Kentucky Bourbon Trail Glass, you'll find this one. This is, like I said, my go-to casual drinking glass. However, it performed extremely well on last week's competition, so it made it to the finals. And lastly, one of a lot of Whiskey Tube's favorite glasses is the Kenzie Glass. The one I'm holding right here is the Penelope Bourbon one they very so kindly gave me. This one surprised me. Another one that was a surprise. I've had this at the back of my cabinet for a while now, but it just completely performed so well in the competition. So very, very excited to see which one comes out on top. I'm going to keep track of the score of the score of the glasses, but at the same time, I'm going to be trying to guess the whiskey that I have poured. That's what is part of the Matt Madness training. So I have no idea what this whiskey is that I'm drinking. I'm going to try to guess the distillery, the age, the proof, all that fun stuff. And we'll see. We'll reveal after each round what that whiskey is. So, and you'll also find out what you can win. So I don't know yet, other than my winner's pour. So you'll get 4 pours for sure. Swan is in the house. What's up, Swan? Good to see you. Thank you so much for showing up. So anyways, let's go ahead and start with our lovely Glencairn Glass. Let's go and see if we can get a nose off of this one. Like I said, today's episode is really fun because normally I know what's in these glasses. I'm not trying to actually nose them. Now it's actually beneficial for me to enjoy, or me to like pay attention to what notes I'm getting, because I got to find out what this whiskey is. Let's go and give it a nose. Ooh, okay. It smells it smells like a craft whiskey. It's got a little bit of like a green apple thing going for it. It's very light. I almost want to guess it's a rye, but I'm not sure. Yeah, on the nose, it's to me. I'm just gonna make a note of what I think it is as I go along, and then I'll double check this as I go along. So let's just do A, B, and C just to keep track of it for this tasting notes. It's people showing up. Whiskey Reaper's in the house. What's up? Good time for. Whoa, speaking too fast. First time I think I've seen you in a live stream. Welcome. Good to have you. Scott says I'm his pick in my bracket. Good luck. Thank you so much, Scott. Yes, I'm very excited to compete against. But they're two very difficult challengers, I will say. So I'm looking forward to it. If y'all didn't know, Matt Madness over on ADHD Whiskey's channel. Tomorrow is round 1. I am competing. So I'm looking forward to that. So much. I've been waiting to redeem myself after last year. I made it to round 2 last year, but this year we're going all the way. I swear by it. All right. So I think on the nose, A is a rye, but I don't know for sure. I'm going to guess it's a rye. I'm going to guess proof wise. I'm going to guess like 90 proof just on the nose. So that's just the nose. I'm just making a note here. Nose palate. Bonnie, I'm sorry I'm messing up your spreadsheet. All right. So let's go and give it a taste out of the Glen. I will say the nose on this. It's giving a really good nose. This is going to be a tough competition, guys. I can't give that a score until I've tried another glass. Let's go ahead and taste it. Cheers. I still believe that's a rye. It's a high rye. Like I'm thinking like 95.5 rye. It's relatively youthful. I kind of want to say it is like, I want to say like 4 years old, like 4 or 5 years old rye. That's really interesting. It doesn't remind me of anything that I've had recently, which is why I'm like, I know my husband he knows I'm like trying to nail this down. So I'm sure he picked something hard. So Brandon says he usually has trouble determining if a whiskey is a bourbon or a rye on the nose. How do you tell? Well, for this one, I think it's just so spicy. It's like grassy spicy. And that's usually what I kind of am thinking on the nose, but on the palate, it's a lot more, it reveals itself a little bit more. Yeah, it's very, very spicy. It has a little bit of a thinner body, which makes you think it is a little bit younger. So I'm going to guess that it is still, I think I'm going to go up in proof, though. I think I'm going to go up to, let me see. I said it was 90 proof on the nose. Hold on. Sorry, Donnie was messing with something. I just want to make note of this. So here, Donnie, I got this part. I know it's a mess. I'll try to figure out as I go. So I think this one is a 90. I'm just going to stick around 90 proof for the rye. I think it's about I'll say 4 years old. 4 years old. I will say I don't have any guesses so far, but we still got 3 more glasses. Now let's think about our rating of the glass because I think I'm trying to do too many things at once. I'm getting a little flustered, but we're gonna go with it. Sorry. I promise I'm not always this flustered. So let's go ahead and move on to glass number 2. I haven't given that one any scores yet. You may notice. I'm waiting till I try it against a comparison glass. So moving on to the Norlan Glass, we are going to go ahead and give this a nose. The same whiskey. Oh, the nose is not there on the Norlan. Wow, okay. Yeah, that's crazy. There's not much jumping out of the glass on the Norlan. And I noticed the Norlan tends to perform a lot better in high proof whiskeys. And I'm definitely, yeah, that's really, really light. I'm going to reference my old notes. Yeah, no, I said the Norlan didn't do, well, actually, no, the Norlan did pretty well on the nose last time. Very interesting. Maybe it was because it was a bourbon and this is a rye. Oh, man. Based on that alone, nose, I'm gonna give the Glen an 8. We're gonna start out at 8 out of 8. We can bring it down if something's better than it. But the Norlan, that's got to be a 2. That's really not much coming out of the glass on the nose. Let's go and give it a taste with the Norlan. Taste wise, it's on par with the Glen. I think these wide, like if it's wide enough to get my nose in it, then I think it's a win with the palate. I can smell, I can taste at the same time. That's how a lot of glasses got disqualified in the past couple of weeks. So that's really interesting. I think this palate wise, it drinks the same way. I'm gonna give them both a 6 on the palate for now. But wow, I'm really surprised by how lackluster the nose is on this Norlan Glass. Now remember, we are competing both a low proof whiskey, a high proof whiskey, and a peated Scotch. So the Norlan may redeem itself as we get into those higher proof whiskeys and those more potent whiskeys. But yeah, for this lighter, lower proof rye, it's really not doing much for me. Lil says, it may depend on what you poured. I find the Norlan's hit or miss on the nose. Absolutely, Lil. I think the Norlan performed so well on the first round that I'm really, really surprised by how lackluster it is on the nose right now. But let's go and move on. Oh, Independent Joe, thank you so much. Yes, if you want to buy some, I'm not wearing any of my own merch. I was about to say, if you want to get some Bourbon Bytes merch, I have some really cool shirts on my Threadless shop. You can check it out, bourbonbytes.threadless.com. I'll be wearing my merch tomorrow during Matt Madness. All right, moving on to the next glass with this low proof whiskey, which I believe is a rye. This is the Kentucky Bourbon Trail glass. Let's give it a nose. That's more like it. Not quite as strong as the Glen on the nose, but you can get a lot of those flavors, that rye spice, that really bright forward note. Yeah, that's there. That's there on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail glass. I will say I will give this on the nose. I will give this a 6 out of 8, which I think it's a lot better than the Norlan. But let's go and see how it holds up on the palate. Cheers. I do think it falls a little flat. I think on the palate, it doesn't really do as well as the Glen and the Norlan, just based on this low proof whiskey. I'm going to go and have another sip. What's up, Emily? Good to see you. It's really good, and it's really bringing out some really bold flavors. I'm going to put it a little bit lower. I'm going to give that a 5. A 5 out of 8 on that one. So I'm just gonna make a swap right here on our thing. Oh no, that's gonna mess everything up. I'm gonna go back. I'm just gonna forget I did that. Okay, so let's move on to our final glass for this low proof whiskey, the Kenzie Glass. By the way, I'm learning to really enjoy this glass. I don't know, maybe I'm a little biased. I never gave it a chance before now. I know Trev, the Bourbon Wrench, has one that he has on his shop. On the nose, I will say it's impressing me. I'm gonna go back to the Glen because I think that's gonna be pretty close on the nose. I think the Glen pulls out a little bit more of that concentrated flavor. I think with the wider base, I think it more narrowly goes into your nose, whereas this is a little bit more, like tubular. I don't know the terms, but I do think that this is a little bit lower on the nose. but I think it's still pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to. Oh wait, Donnie's helping out with that. Thank you, Donnie. I'll wait till he does that. But let's guess what this whiskey is, shall we? So I'm thinking this is a lower proof rye. I think it's a lower proof rye. Maybe not quite that 90 proof that I thought it was. Now that I tried it in all 4 glasses, I'm gonna go up to 94 proof. I'm gonna say it's a 94 proof rye. Now, in terms of guessing what this is, man, my mind is going to like 3 chord. And I say that because I believe they are sourcing their rye. I think it could be an MGP rye, but I know I have a 3 chord non-age stated rye whiskey. So I'm gonna put 3 chord. I'm gonna go with my gut, like Donnie told me during Matt Madness. I need to go with my gut. I'm thinking this is a 3 chord rye whiskey. So that's my guess for this glass. Do y'all want to find out what this is? So let me go to give my score on the Kenzie Glass. I think I will give that a 7 on the nose, and on the palate, it's a little flat. I'm gonna give that the same as the Bourbon Trail Glass. I'm gonna give it a 5 on the palate. So that is our score. So in terms of the low proof bourbon, the one that comes out on top is the Glencairn. So far, we're not done. We're going to compete in 2 other categories, and we're going to find out which one, if it holds up in the high proof bourbon and the peated Scotch. Are y'all ready for that? But first, let's find out what this whiskey was that I'm trying to guess. I could be completely wrong, but let's find out what was in glass number A, letter A, or number A. Let's just go with that. So this first whiskey, am I right? Let's see. I thought it was a 4-year-old rye at 94 proof, potentially a 3 chord rye. Let's find out. Okay, not too far off. It is an MGP rye, which I thought it was going to be a sourced rye. It is 91.5 proof, so I was 2.5 proof points off. I did say it's 4 years. It's actually 6 years old. But dang, I'm pretty impressed with that. What do y'all think? Like, I thought I actually am very impressed with how close I was with that. I was 2.5 proof points off. I knew it was an MGP rye. A little off on the age. It was a little older than I thought it was. So very, very cool. Interesting. Okay. So if y'all missed it at the beginning, I'm giving away pours of all 3 of these whiskeys at the end of the night for every $5 super chat, as well as a bonus special winner's pour, which I'm going to pour into the winning glass tonight. And so far, it's looking like it could be the Glen, but we never know what the winner pour is. So I see Kathy's in the house. Sorry I'm late to the party. No worries. We're just getting through the first round. We have 2 more rounds to go. But this is off to a good start, especially with my guessing. I'm very, very impressed with that. So while I prepare for the fact that I don't have a dump glass, tell me what you were drinking in the chat below. Give me 10 seconds and I will have a dump glass. Let me know in the chat. I expect to see all of your answers in 10 seconds. Let me know what you're drinking or what did you drink last. Let me know. And I'm back. I know. I shouldn't have got up, but I made it. So I just didn't want to have to chug. Come on, focus. I didn't want to have to chug. Ooh, that did worse. Come on now. I shouldn't have got up. Hello, it's me. It's me. Hello. There we go. Okay. So I just didn't want to have to chug all these this early on into the stream. Steven's in the house. Cheers, Steven. Good to see you. Oh, Scott's just drinking some seagrass. I just got a backup bottle of seagrass. Love that one. Definitely my favorite barrel product I've tried. Brandon is drinking water. Good choice. I need to drink more water between my matches. Whiskey and cigars for tomorrow. Oh, nice. Emily's drinking some Kirkland, Tennessee. Prescription bourbon is drinking some pure Kentucky XO. You know what? I don't think I've had that one. I know it's a is it Willet? Is that a Willet product or is it Barton? I know what you're talking about. I know what the label looks like. It has the Kentucky cutout on it. I just don't remember which one that was from. Like I said, Emily has some Kirkland, Tennessee. This is a Kentucky, Tennessee. That would be interesting. Kathy has some Elijah Craig toasted barrels. Tastes like s'mores. I love me a toasted barrel for sure. Deathless Dogs has Starlight Calvados finish. I have been hearing so many good things about those Starlight bourbons. I have not had a chance to try any of them, but maybe one day. Maybe one day. Oh, Kathy says she sent me a package in the mail. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, thank you so much, Kathy. Yeah, you you know what? I forget what you said you were sending me, but surprise me. It'll be a surprise. I know we talked about it on Instagram, but I was like, man, I lose track of. I got a lot on my mind with like work, this Matt Madness, and then I'm going on vacation next week. I'll still be live next Thursday night. Actually, I'm going to have a special guest on the stream tomorrow. Special guest on the stream next Thursday. Women of Whiskeys, Michelle will be joining me for a Booker's Flight. All of the 2021 releases. She ever so kindly sent me samples of all 4 2021 releases. So I'll be doing that with her, just talking a little bit about their channel. And Michelle's just an awesome person. I'm looking forward to having her on next Thursday. Thank you so much. That is what it was. Thank you. Yes, I'm gonna save that for my St. Patrick's Day stream. Coincidentally, I go live on St. Patrick's Day because it's a Thursday, so I'm really looking forward to that one and trying that one. Zofer says, "Good luck, Clifton." Thank you so much, Zofer. I'm assuming that's for Matt Madness and not tonight. I mean, I do need luck tonight, but well, Zofer, right now you are the only one in for the giveaway to win all 3 of these plus my special winner's pour. So I'm going to dump these in my dump glasses, and we're going to move on to our second whiskey of the night, which is our cask strength bourbon or rye. So let's keep it rolling tonight. Right now, the Glen is in the lead, but you never know. You never know what could happen in round 2. But cheers to you, Zofer. All right. Moving on to, let me go and take that one off the screen. All right. Moving on to whiskey letter B. This is our cask strength bourbon or rye. We're going to try this in all 4 glasses and see which glass comes out ahead while I also try to guess what I'm drinking. So I'm going to get that poured in all 4 glasses. Now, when I'm actually doing Matt Madness, I'm going to have clean glasses for every pour, of course. But today, since we're just practicing, I'm going to reuse the glasses, so it might throw off a little bit. But let's go ahead and see how we're doing. Oh, Kathy says, enjoy your vacation. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. We are going to Puerto Vallarta, which is like one of our favorite spots in Mexico. We've been planning a trip for a while. We didn't get a chance to go last year, so I'm so looking forward to going this year. Just for a few nights. We're spending half of it in like a small Airbnb in the middle of downtown. It's gonna be so much fun, like having so much food from all the small restaurants there and the bars, of course. And then the last part of the trip, we're going to an all-inclusive for a couple nights because why not? Why not treat ourselves? Why not try to escape from the fact that the world's literally blowing up? Just kidding. Everyone in the Ukraine is in my thoughts, but I'm just saying, we planned this before we decided to break out into the Third World War. But anyways, not to bring everyone down. I know we're trying to escape that. That's the whole point of Whiskey Tube, right? Escapism. So we're not going to talk about that. But I hope everyone is safe, their families, their friends around the world. Just stay safe. Can we just drink whiskey, make peace? That should be my slogan, right? All right. Moving on to our high proof whiskey. Let's see how it is in the Glen. So far, that's coming out ahead. Ooh, that one's caramelly. That's unexpected. I was not expecting it to be so sweet on the nose. Yeah, that's like caramel brown sugar creme brulee on the nose. That is a delicious nose. Holy crap. And the fact that I was so quickly able to identify certain tasting notes with this glass is setting it up for success. So I'm going to start that one out with an 8. Now that can always go down. We can always, lower it if something does a little bit better. But on the nose so far, that is doing fantastic. So let's go and taste out of the Glencairn. Well, that's high proof. Oh man. Well, it's definitely a bourbon. I can tell you that right now. It's not a rye. It doesn't have any of those rye spices. I think that's a bourbon. Proof-wise, I'm going to guess, just on the first one, I can adjust this. I'm going to guess 125. That is hot. It also tastes really well aged. I'm gonna, you know what? It could be a younger MGP that's like 6 years old. So right now I'm gonna say 6 years old. I'm gonna say that. I'm also gonna say MGP. I could be wrong. Just first impression from this first sip out of the Glen. That is a fantastic palate as well. That is going to be really, really hard to beat with this high proof bourbon. All the tasting notes, none of the burn. Then on the palate, just a full, full-bodied experience. Man, the Glen, that's going to get an 8. Now, I might change this. Right now, it's getting an 8 for the nose and an 8 for the palate. A full best score it can score for the high proof bourbon. Now, that could be adjusted. We could see. But right now, that is how I feel about that. It's also how I feel about the bourbon. That's delicious. That's an 8 out of 8 bourbon for me, too. All right. Moving on to the Norlan Glass. I keep forgetting. And you guys got to remember, like, I feel like I'm rating these really high, but at the same time, these are the best of the best, right? I've done 10 glasses total, and these are the last 4 that scored the highest. So it makes sense they're all going to do relatively well in this competition, but we'll see which one comes out on top. All right, let's go ahead and give it a nose in the Norlan. Better for sure than the low proof bourbon. I get that caramel. It's a lot more like light and like more like sweet vanilla versus like a creme brulee, like I said on the Glen. I will give this a relatively high nose score. I will give it a 6. I'll give it a 6 out of 8. I think you get some of those similar notes, but you're not nearly getting as evolved of a nose on this as you can with the Glencairn. Let's go and give it a taste. That does really tame down the intensity. I'm getting a lot more nuttiness out of it, which is interesting when I'm trying to decide what this whiskey is. Ooh, did that just beat the Glen on the palate? I don't know if it beat it or it tied. Ooh, that's close. I'm gonna have to come back. I'm gonna give it an 8 for now, but it may have tied. It may have beat it. We'll come back through by the end. All right, moving on to Kentucky Bourbon Trail, and I'm trying to see if I get a better idea of what this whiskey is. I'm leaning towards older than 6 year. I'm leaning towards like 9 years now, because I'm getting a lot more like depth to that oak on it. I don't think it's a 6-year-old. I'm gonna change my guess to a 9-year-old. We got 2 more glasses to get through, so let's see how it does in the Kentucky Bourbon Trail glass. Let's get a nose. Okay. Dare I say in between the Norlan and the Glen. It's got that caramel goodness, that desserty. I am getting the creme brulee note. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of in between. I'm gonna give that a 7 out of 8 on the nose. I think it's a little, it pales in comparison to the Glen because it's not as concentrated, but still those same delicious notes, and it's easier to pull notes out of. Let's taste it in the Bourbon Trail glass. Still nutty. Wow. This is doing very, very well on the palate across the board, actually. I really can't differentiate between which one is the best palate between these first 3. So they're all getting 8s for now. We'll see. We'll see if the Kenzie just blows them away with this final pour with the high proof bourbon. So just getting caught up in the chat. I'm seeing the messages come in. Donnie says, will you be using the ease of use category tonight? Might be nice to see how the glass helps with the blind. Debating, Donnie. Still debating. I left it blank for now. We'll see if that's like a tiebreaker. But thank you for asking, though. So Scott says, so getting a couple of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail glasses just look cool. Yeah, they are really cool glasses. I have 4 of them. Actually, I have 4 in backup in case I break them. I'm a big fan of them. Brandon's guessing Knob Creek 12 for this one. That's a good guess. I do have one of those open. Unless it's a Knob Creek pick. So the nuttiness to me. Okay, so I think there are 3 whiskeys that express as nutty to me. This is just maybe. Oh, Perry's watching now. I'm like, I can't. Should I spoil this? I think there's 3 whiskeys that are similarly nutty. Knob Creek, of course, Jim Beam. Heaven Hill, sometimes some Elijah Craig barrel proofs can get really nutty. Those are more like a sweet dessert nut. Those are still nutty. And then MGP sometimes expresses itself as nutty. So that's why I'm like, oh, I don't know. This is delicious though. Whatever the second whiskey is got to be one of my favorites. I know that because it's so good. But let's go ahead and give it a nose in the Kenzie glass. Wow, that is actually excellent on the nose in the Kenzie glass. I think the Glen just got beat on the nose. Oh man, that smells delicious. All of that caramel brown sugar note, that creme brulee. Best nose for sure. So everything's dropping a point. The Glen is going down to a 7 on the nose. The Bourbon Trail glass is going down to a 6 on the nose, and the Norlan is going down to a 5 on the nose because On the nose, Kenzie gets an 8 out of 8. That is a fantastic nosing glass for a high proof bourbon. Perry said, I used to work for the company that sold the official Bourbon Trail glass. They're legit. Oh yeah, they are. They are really doing much better than I expected in this entire competition. Also, Cliffy, it's on tomorrow. It's on. So, all right, let's go ahead and give a taste out of the Kenzie glass. It did so well in the nose. Let's see how it tastes. Delicious. Man, the Kenzie just scored an 8 on the nose and an 8 on the palate at the high proof bourbon. Holy crap. That is surprising. It scored lower on the low proof bourbon, but on this high proof bourbon, it is killing it. That got a perfect score with that. We will find out though. Will the peated Scotch be the changing point? But first, we got to find out what this whiskey is, shall we? So, I think it's nutty. Do I think it's Jim Beam? And am I going to stick with the 125 proof? I might want to lower it. I got 125 off the Glen. I think the Glen gave a very bold proof, but I think I'm gonna bump it down to 120, especially because y'all are thinking Knob Creek. So, Cohen says Aaron from Bourbon Blind says that Kenzie's are the best glass. Well, she may be right because the Kenzie's performing way better than I thought. So, by the way, they're hard to get. Have you guys found an easy way to get Kenzie's? Like I said, I got sent this from the brand. I know Trev sells one. Amazon doesn't really have them. They have a personalized one, but I don't want to pay for that. I want just a basic glass. Unless this wins my best whiskey glass of 2022, then there may be a Bourbon Bytes personalized one that comes out soon. We'll find out. But I'm going to guess what this whiskey is. It doesn't taste as dry and nutty as a Knob Creek. Honestly, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say this is an Elijah Craig barrel proof. I don't know which batch. Don't try to get me to that. If I were to guess a batch, I would probably say he could have poured my favorite batch ever. He could have poured my C918 because it's that good. It could also be the A122. But that is I still think about 120 proof. I'm going to leave my 9-year age statement guess just in case this is a Knob Creek and then I'm not too far off. But I think this is an Elijah Craig barrel proof. That's my guess. Let's find out what glass number B is, shall we? All right. The whiskey, the high proof cast strength whiskey in glass B is. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. No wonder I love it. So this is It's Bourbon Night New Lou pick. This is only a 5-year-old MGP bourbon. You know, my first guess was MGP with what I thought it was. Also, my first guess was 5 years old. No, it was 6. I think I said 6 years old. Should have went with my gut, Donnie. Donnie, you warned me. If I would have went with my gut, I would have stuck with the MGP and I would have stuck with the close age statement. Proof-wise is 117.8, so pretty close on proof. I brought it down to 120, so about 2 off still. But wow, I said MGP can be nutty. I really did. Brandon says sad. Perry says holy moly. Interesting. I told you MGP can express that same sweet, desserty nut that I think Heaven Hill does. That's what confused me. Ah, man, it's delicious. It's a delicious pour. So whoever wins tonight's sample giveaway, you're getting a pour of that. You're getting a pour of the Templeton 6-year, as well as this final one and my celebration pour. Like I said, if anyone wants in on that, I don't have a banner made for it, but there we go. We'll use that one. So just want to let you guys know that you can win it. Right now, there's only 2 entries in, so you have pretty good odds to win a sample of the now sold out It's Bourbon Night New Lou pick. Sarah's was amazing. Chad was good too, but Sarah's was my favorite. Surprise, surprise. Our palates align a lot. But wow, that was super surprising. Did not do well there. Wait, what? New Lou Swart? Yeah, that's what I said. I said my first guess was that this was an MGP bourbon, like I said, around 6 years. But I changed my mind. Y'all got me with the Jim Beam thing, so I was like, oh, it's Knob Creek. So I changed it to Knob Creek, and I changed it to Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. So I was not very confident with the distillery. So I shouldn't have changed my mind. All good. Oh, Whiskey Nose is in the house. What's up, Whiskey Nose, Marty and Jenny? Good to see you. Yeah, that was a fail on my part. But hey, you know what? This is why it's training and not the actual competition. Because tomorrow I will know that if something tastes like Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, it's probably Nulu. Perry, don't take my word on that. All right, moving on to the final competitor in this competition. This could be the game changer. I will be testing a peated Scotch whiskey in all 4 glasses. Because for me, I know a lot of you guys might just stick with one type of whiskey, and that's perfectly fine. You do you. Drink the whiskey you like, how you like to drink it. However, I have learned that I really enjoy peated Scotch. So I want a glass that's versatile. I want a glass that I can enjoy a bourbon with, or I can enjoy a low proof Scotch. I want a glass I can enjoy a low proof rye with, a cask with bourbon, and a peated Scotch. So we're finding out the best glass of all 3 types of whiskey. So let's go and get our last sample poured, sample C, which is also one that you will win if you are so inclined to enter. I'm gonna get this in all 4. Oh, didn't finish my Kenzie Glass. I love that Kenzie did so well in the last round. So the Glen did so good on the first round, but the Kenzie did great on the second round. We'll find out which one comes ahead in this final round. So let's finish that off. So take your bets. Which glass do you think is going to be the overall winner? Who are you rooting for in this competition? Who do you have money on? Please don't bet on my videos. If you're going to bet in a super chat. No prizes though. The prizes are the samples. All right. We are pouring the peated Scotch into the Glen, the Norlan, the Kentucky Bourbon Trail glass, which I know is kind of a sin, and the Kenzie. So we'll find out which of these is going to be the ultimate whiskey glass of 2022. Let's go and give it a nose out of the Glen. Oh, okay. So I'm getting lightly peated. It's not quite a peat bomb like some of the ones I've had before. At least that's how the Glen is expressing. It's like a salty kind of like peat, almost Lagavulin-y. Maybe. Yeah, that's very light. You know, it could also be like, Taliscare's not really peated, right? I don't think Taliscare's peated, but it's giving me that ocean kind of air note that I really love about a peated Scotch. So let's try it. Cheers. A lot more peat on the palate. Ooh, that is bold on the palate. It's hot though. Maybe it's a little hot. And to be perfectly honest, I meant to. So we'll see if it affects. If it comes down to it, I might have to. It's the Norlan on the high proof whiskey because I did say not the Norlan. Sorry, I did say on the high proof whiskey that the Glen drank really hot while the rest kind of mellowed it out, and I gave the Glen's palate on the high proof whiskey an 8. So I'm gonna put maybe 7. Just in case we get super close, because I do think the Glen kind of fell on the palate on the high proof bourbon. But on this one, I'm getting kind of the same thing. It's really flavorful, really interesting, but it is it's kind of overwhelming with that heat on it. Definitely cast strength, whatever this is, high proof. Oh, wow. That's really, really interesting. I'm gonna give that a 7 on the palate. Nose, I'm gonna give it a 6 for now. Really, I don't think it really shone on the nose. It's very, very light on the nose. On palate, though, I think it really kind of was overpowering. Talisker is peated. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the information. I couldn't remember. So it could be Talisker. We'll find out. I have a few Taliskers. I love drinking cocktails out of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail glass. That's another great use for it, right? It's like small and perfect little cocktail glass. You know what's funny? There's a bar/restaurant that I really love in Las Vegas called Flights, and they do like little you basically get a flight of different cocktails. So you can get like a margarita flight, an old fashioned flight, and the cocktail glasses they use for the old fashioned flight are very similar to these glasses. So I could totally see that being a cocktail glass. All right, move on to the Norlan, nosing the peated whiskey out of the Norlan. Oh, way more enjoyable than the Glen. Wow, this is the first one that the Norlan's done well on the nose. It's you really get that sense of peat to it, but it brings out a lot more of like the sweeter notes, not just the peat, not just the briny like sea air. This one's bringing out a lot more. I don't know. There's something like a dessertiness to it that I wasn't getting on the Glen. I think that's gonna get a 7 on the nose with the Norlan. Norlan might place back up in this competition. Let's go ahead and give it a taste with the Norlan. Cheers. Again, mellows it out. The Glen, all of those alcohols are they literally are like concentrated in the bottom of this. Whereas these other glasses, I really think they bring out the other things other than just the alcohol burn. I gotta say, this does score higher than the Glen on the palate. This is an 8 on the palate, 8 out of 8. Yes, it is Flight's Restaurant. It is in the Miracle Mile Shops, Lil, by Planet Hollywood. Ask Tammy and Brian. We went there. We've actually gone there like several times together. They're a really great brunch place. They have a mimosa flight, which is delicious. A really, really great restaurant. All right. So the Norlan redeemed itself with the peated Scotch. Now, will that add up to being the best one tonight? We'll find out, because we're about to move on to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail Glass with the peated Scotch, which, again, I know, a sin. I know, but again, it's one of my favorite glasses. Okay. So this one, I'm not getting the peat as much. You know what? Honestly, the Glen is really not impressing me with this peated Scotch. Believe it or not. I really think the Glen is going to drop down to a 5 on the nose, because we're going to give this a 6 on the nose out of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. It's better than the Glen, not as good as the Norlan. Lil, it's relatively new. It's probably open since you've been in Vegas, I believe. I don't know. I mean, I went to it first time in like 2019, so maybe. Really good on the nose, though. It's not quite as intense of a flavor as the Norlan, but let's go ahead and taste it. Cheers. So this one is kind of like an unhappy medium of the other two, which by that, let me explain. The Glen was super hot on the palate. The Norlan was mellowed out, but had all that flavor that was packed into the palate on the Glen. This is also very mellowed out, but it doesn't have as much flavor. That's honestly a pretty weak palate out of this Kentucky Bourbon Trail glass, which, might make sense. It's a peated Scotch. Why am I drinking out of a Bourbon Trail glass? But I'm looking for an all-purpose whiskey glass, so I'm going to give that a 5 out of 8 on the palate. It really is not impressing me on the palate. But let's move on to our final glass of the night that we will be trying our peated Scotch in, and we will see if this impresses. Kathy says she loves peated Scotch. Her favorite is Laphroaig. Very cool. I'm learning to like Laphroaig. I think at first I was kind of turned off by it because it was super like iodine kind of peat. I'm learning to like it a lot more, especially the finished Laphroaigs I've had. Speaking of Laphroaig, I'm starting to, I said Lagavulin earlier on. I'm starting to think this might be a Laphroaig, but I'm not sure. Well, I'm thinking about it. Bourbon Ballers in the house. What's up? Good to see you. Also, Whiskey Bear. I know I said hey earlier, but good to see you. All right, let's try this peated Scotch out of the last glass, the Kenzie Glass. Let's give it a nose. Okay. Balanced. Not as sweet as the Norlan. The Norlan is right now as my favorite nose on the glass. However, that's pretty close, honestly. I'm going to give that a tie with the Norlan on the nose. That's a 7 out of 8 with the Kenzie Glass. Let's see how it tastes in the Kenzie Glass. Cheers. Ooh, so it's kind of hot like the Glen did. Less enjoyable than the Norlan. Definitely less than the Norlan. Is it less than the Kentucky Bourbon Trail glass? Lil, it is right near the fountains, yes. It's beside another brunch place. I forget what it's called. No, the Kentucky Bourbon Trail glass is even better than this on the palate. Surprisingly, the Kenzie does not hold up well with the peated Scotch on the palate. That's got the weakest palate of all the Kenzie Glass pours. So, I think we have our winner. Before we announce that, let's figure out what this whiskey is. So, I can definitely tell this is a cask strength, high proof Scotch. I'm guessing around 110 proof. Just a guess. 110 proof. I'm going to guess age. Oh, that's so hard with Scotch, right? A lot of these aren't age dated. Now, these don't have to be age dated. It tastes older. I'm going to go with 12 years. I'm going to go with 12 years. I don't know. I don't have very many. Okay. Let's be real. I think I know what this might be. I think this may be my Alexander Murray 12-year cask strength Lafroig. Just a guess. But I think this might be Lafroig cask strength Alexander Murray. Should we find out what this whiskey is before we reveal the best whiskey glass of 2022? So, my guess is Alexander Murray Lafroig 12-year cask strength. But let's find out. What's in my glass? I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. Wow. Thank God Matt doesn't really like peated Scotch. This is actually Mockery Moore. I forget how to pronounce that. So that is by Glen. Y'all have to tell me. I don't have the glass in front of me. My husband wrote this. Love him, but he's not a Scotch guy. So this is cask strength. It is 112.4 proof. I said 110 proof. So I was close on proof. It's non-age dated, so I don't know the age. But man, I did not do well on that one. It's a great pour. I love that bottle. I've had their rep on my channel before. They are fantastic. But I was really wrong. It was not Lafroig. I was kind of thinking like Lagavulin, but this is where I have an advantage, right? I know what's in my collection. Whereas with Matt Madness, I have no idea what I'm going to get served. So did not expect that at all. Wow. What an interesting flight the winner of the giveaway is going to get. Zofer just put his head. Now he's excited. He's like, okay, I'm in for this giveaway now. I'm giving myself another shot. So now you know 3 of the 4 pours that you get in this giveaway. You will be getting a pour of Templeton 6-year rye, a pour of It's Bourbon Bytes pick of Nulu 5-year single barrel delicious, my favorite Nulu product I've ever tried. C, you will be getting a pour of Mockery Moore, I forget how to pronounce it. I don't know. That one. Hold on. Just want to make sure I have it right. Mockery Moore from Oh, wait. Oh my God. Brain fart. Here's me being a bourbon guy. This is not the Glenallachie that I was thinking it was. I was thinking Glenallachie. This is by Aaron. So this is an Aaron release. This is their single malt peated Scotch. I haven't not had this bottle in literal like a year. So I was still wrong. I mean, I'm still wrong, but this is a distillery I'm not very familiar with. They actually usually do non-peated whiskey. So it's really interesting to see how this did. I also bought it at K&L as well. Yeah, I think that's definitely a good bit younger than 12 years old, like I guessed. But a delicious, delicious pour. I know I shared some with Swan, or I'm going to share some if I haven't already sent it. I don't know. I'm good with samples, but when it's like a friend, I'm really bad about remembering what I've sent. So that's a really cool one that you guys get in the giveaway. So shall we reveal the best whiskey glass of 2022 and then have our celebratory pour, which will be the last one that will be part of the giveaway? Yeah, so it wasn't Alexander Murray. I was wrong. It is, unless it is bottled by Alexander Murray. If it's bottled by Alexander Murray, do I still get the point? I don't think it is. But you're right about the rest of that. That is absolutely true. Castor peated. Yep. That is a very, very good whiskey. Did not do well in the giveaway. I mean, did not do well in the guessing, but wow. Okay. So let's go in and reveal. We have a winner. We have a winner of the best whiskey glass of 2022. This one made it through the first round and the finals. So y'all ready to find out what the best glass is? Let me go in order. There's actually a tie for last place. How about that? The tie for last place. All of these are within 5 points of each other. Should I tell you? 4 points from each other, actually. So they are all very, very close. It was a close one. Tied for last place. Now, last place is meaning my top 4. It's still a great glass. The Norlan and the Kentucky Bourbon Trail tied for last place with 36 points total. They competed really well, and I still love my Kentucky Bourbon Trail Glass. I think just having the peated Scotch lowered its odds, and also the low proof whiskey also lowered it. But it did really well in the high proof whiskey. So that means there's a winner. The winner. Thank you, Donnie. yeah, not independent volume. That was my bad. I read that wrong. So the winner for the best whiskey glass of 2021. Let me go ahead and combine the peated Scotches. I'm going to do a little bit of a drink at the end of it. The winner, best whiskey glass 2021, goes to none other. Did I say 2021? 2022. Cliffy's here, y'all. Hello. Goes to the Glencairn. You cannot beat a classic. The Kenzie was 1 point away from beating the Glen. Believe it or not, these both did incredibly well. The palate on the Kenzie and the peated Scotch killed it. That was the lowest palate rating I've given the Kenzie at all, and it's on the peated Scotch. Now, I'm really curious to see what I thought of it with the last peated Scotch of the first round. What did I give it with that one? Yeah, it did not do well on the palate with the peated Scotch last time either. So, Kenzie glasses just don't, for me, doesn't do it for peated Scotches, but for across the board, bourbon, rye, and peated Scotch, the Glencairn comes ahead. So, did y'all know this was going to win? Did y'all know? I didn't know. So, you told me that you picked the Glen. I know. All right. So, I'm going to celebrate with my final pour, which is the final pour of the giveaway. Here's your last chance to get in at the giveaway. Here's where you'll want to enter the giveaway. To celebrate the best glass of 2022, I'm going to have a pour of Stag Junior, batch 17, sent to me by the amazing Bourbon Noob, who was here in the chat. This is what is the proof on this one? 128.7. So the highest proof thing I've had all night. I'm going to be having that in our winning glass, meaning whoever wins the giveaway tonight will win a pour of Templeton 6-year, Maki Moore. Oh man, my brain. Cliffy's here. New Lewitt's Bourbon Night pick and Stag Junior batch 17. So I'll give y'all, what time is it? I'll give y'all 3 minutes. If anyone wants a last minute entry into the giveaway, then we're going to spin the wheel of whiskey. Congrats to my friend Patrick who sourced this for me. Prescription Bourbon says, wish we could see Donnie's beautifully color-coded spreadsheet. Well, I screwed it up, but you know what? Just for you, Donnie, we're going to show off your amazing work. So, Donnie did a fantastic job putting this together. He has our round 1, our round 2, and our round 3 final round. We have the winner here, the Glencairn. Norlan and Kentucky Bourbon Trail Glass were in last, and the Kenzie was in second place. So thank you, Donnie, so much for helping put that together. But we are about to pour this Stag Junior and celebrate the Glencairn Glass. Wow, I really should have done this as a recorded episode. That way I didn't keep screwing up the glass titles. Yeah, let's try the Stag Junior and the Glencairn. So good, man. Best Stag Junior I've had in a long, long time now. Also the only Stag Junior I've had in a long, long time. So there's that. But this batch 17 is an absolute winner. Delicious, delicious. Everything you love about Stag Junior, it's back, baby. I mean, I know they're removing the Junior from it, but this one is the last batch of a Stag with the word Junior on it. So, wow. I am surprised. I'm surprised, but at the same time, I mean, nothing beats a classic. So the Glencairn is on top. Kathy coming in for another chance. She really wants to win that Stag Junior for her husband. Well, Kathy, you are in the giveaway again. You just upped your odds a bit. It is a very close giveaway tonight, actually. Like, it's literally just between you and Zopher. But it's okay. It's okay. I love y'all both. Unless anyone wants to get in the next 2 minutes. But other than that, we're going to spin the wheel of whiskey and we're going to find out which one of these lovely people wins all 4 pours tonight. But cheers to the Glencairn and cheers to you, Kathy. Prescription Bourbon throwing his name in the hat. he saw that Stag Junior come out. He's like, I can't miss that. So thank you so much for the super chat, though. It really does help out the channel. It means a lot. And this was a really fun competition. If y'all want to see more like competitions like this, let me know. I don't normally do like brackets and stuff because I know like it's kind of overdone. Like I said, this wasn't planned to be a competition, but it ended up, y'all liked the first part and part 2 so much that I had to do a full finals. So, and Cohen is going in for a pour of Stag Junior Batch 17. Did you just say you had that one? Oh, you tried to get another one, but Mission won't sell you one. Okay, well, thank y'all for watching. We're gonna do the Wheel of Whiskey here in just a second, but I will finish the Stag Junior first. It's hot, but not all the right ways. It's just such a delicious George T. or such a delicious expression from Buffalo Trace is what I was trying to say. Mr. Whiskey Shits, Adam is in for the giveaway as well. Good to see you, by the way. Thanks for tuning in. And Scott Pigsley said, did someone say Staggy J? Oh, man. Y'all are making it tough for everyone here. But thank y'all so much. It seriously does help out so much. So I think we're going to cut off the super chats for the giveaway now. And we're going to do the Wheel of Whiskey, which is my favorite thing to do on this channel, other than drink whiskey, is spinning the Wheel of Whiskey. So let's get that prepared. Just a reminder, my new episode of my podcast comes out tomorrow morning. I am talking about some really cool news about ways that you can win a bottle, not just one bottle, but 6 bottles from the Pappy Van Winkle lineup. And only you have a 1 in 4,000 shot of winning these bottles. So if you want to find out how you can win your own Pappy Van Winkle lineup of full-size bottles, you don't want to miss this week's podcast. You can find me wherever you get your podcast. You can go to bourbonbytes.podbean.com. I'll put the link down in the description below. Find me on your favorite podcast platform. Make sure to follow me there and leave a rating if you can, if it's available. Really am enjoying that. We're about to hit 1,000 downloads on the podcast, which is crazy. In less than 6 months, 1,000 downloads. That's crazy. Also, this next one is episode number 20. So it's been a fun run so far. And I can't wait to see where it goes next. So with that, let's go ahead and get the Wheel of Whiskey pulled up. Let me shuffle this a couple times so y'all can't think I'm cheating. Scott says, I'm subscribed to the podcast. It is greatness. Oh, well, thank you, Scott. I'm glad y'all are enjoying it. It's been less than 6 months, but I've had so much fun with it. And honestly, I look forward to putting out an episode every single week. It's a nice way to kind of like be chill. Like these streams are very like, high energy. I want to keep it rolling, keep it going. But the podcast, I'm just chill. And like I'm talking about news stories and both bourbon and video games. Occasionally I'll throw in a video game story, including this week's episode. There's a really cool story about some vintage biscuits. That sounds gross. Some vintage video games that were found in storage that were locked away for 27 years. Some of these, we may not know if there's any other ones out there except these in this collection. So again, I'm trying to teach y'all with the podcast. It's a lot of fun. There's some really cool news stories. Wherever you get your podcast, Bourbon Bytes Podcast. But with that, let's go ahead and spin the Wheel of Whiskey. Let's get it shared on the screen. See how our competitors are. There we go. Perry said, loser tomorrow night has to let the other host a full episode of the winner's podcast. Oh, I mean, like, how about the winner gets to be a guest on the next person's podcast? How about that, Perry? I would be on board with that. So if I win, I get to be a guest on your podcast. And then if you win, wait, no, is that the other way around? If I win, do I get to have you on my podcast or do you get to have me? Because for me, I'm like, oh, I want to be on Perry's podcast. But at the same time, like, I shouldn't. That's like a benefit for myself. Lil says Cliffy in the house. So that's crazy. So, all right. Let's go ahead and pull up the Wheel of Whiskey. Perry, think on that. Let me know who is going to get that. So, you see where I'm coming from now. Winner chooses. Okay, how about that, Perry? The winner gets to decide if they're going to go on your podcast or you're coming on mine. Like, oh no, you will be subservient to me. All right, let's go to pull up the Wheel of Whiskey. So these are all of our competitors that are competing tonight for a chance to win all 4 of these whiskeys that we tried. Let's go ahead and spin the Wheel of Whiskey. Who will it be? Who will it be? It is indeed Kathy Graves. Congratulations. You and your husband get a chance to try a pour of the Stag Junior Batch 17, as well as the other 3 pours here tonight. I'm so excited that you won. I'm so excited that you guys all competed. Y'all are amazing. Thank y'all for tuning in. Remember, next week I have Women of Whiskey's Michelle on. We're doing a Booker's Flight. Cliffy will definitely come out with the Booker's Flight. You know Cliffy loves his Jim Beam. So stay tuned for that every Thursday at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. You'll find me here. But until next time, this has been Bourbon Bytes. Cheers, and I'll see you guys at the after party hangout for everyone that's Patreon. Otherwise, I will see you guys next Thursday. Reminder, the Patreon monthly hangout for everyone $5 and up is this Saturday. So make sure you are on our Discord. Everyone's welcome to join the Discord, but if you're a patron, definitely join the Discord because you're missing out on a lot of your perks by not being there. So that's this Saturday for everyone $5 and up. But right now we're doing our after party super chat. After party super chat. What am I? Cliffy can't speak. I read Cohen's comment. Dispute the charge. Please don't dispute your charge. Don't get me banned, please, man. For $5, I will. we'll figure something out. All right. So thank y'all for watching. On to the after party with Patreon, and otherwise I'll see y'all on Matt Madness tomorrow, where I beat Perry's. But I was gonna time it where I timed it to say something, but I was not on the right screen. Just catch you on Matt Madness, where I kick Perry's